Proposition B is fluid. Passed by the voters back in November. Now a repeal bill sits on the governor's desk, but there's a compromise. What's going on? Kurt Bahr joins us, a Republican. State Representative Kurt Bahr, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the invitation to join you.
Where are we with this? What are you hearing? Is the governor going to sign it? And if he does sign this bill that's on his desk, or if he doesn't sign it, what happens?
Last I heard, there is a compromise that's being worked out, and that the governor would be given the compromise, and that he would sign both bills. And that the compromise language is actually is a beautiful thing, because it includes all of the humane societies from our state, as well as the agricultural societies, to resolve the issues that were brought up with not only the Prop B on the agricultural side, but some of the issues that the Humane Society had with the Senate Bill 113. So it's really a true compromise between the two groups to protect breeders and protect dogs.
Why would he sign both? Kurt?
The main reason, actually, pretty much the main reason is to appease both sides. Those in favor of the Senate Bill 113 want him to sign that, and those in favor of the compromise want him to sign that. So he signs Senate Bill 113 first, and then we give him the compromise. He signs the compromise, and
does the one supersede the other, or are they both then in actual then the law of the state?
Where they conflict, the compromise bill would supersede Senate Bill 113, which is why he would be signing that bill first.
If he doesn't sign the bill on his desk now, what happens?
If the Senate Bill 113, if he does not sign that, then the legislator won't pass the compromise.
Really? So I mean, you really laid the law down and drew a line into the sand, or the legislature has. From what you're hearing,
that's what I'm hearing. Obviously, I'm not in the position of leadership as a freshman.
Sure.
But yeah, the agricultural community has worked actually well with the animal rights community to come up with a good compromise. But the fear is that if the compromise goes through first, that he won't sign the Senate Bill 113, and I think the Senate Bill 113 is important to the agricultural community, so that's why they're pushing for the two. But I'm not entirely certain if there is any legal reason why we have to get 113 done before the compromise is done.
Gotcha. Okay. Kurt Bahr, your district voted in favor of Proposition B to the tune of 61%.
That's correct.
And yet you voted for this bill that is sitting on the governor's desk that repeals much of Prop B.
It repeals only one part of Prop B, and that one part is the cap of 50 dogs, which is unconstitutional. My entire campaign, I told people I will protect your constitutional rights, and I could not vote against Senate Bill 113 when all it did was increase funding to protect dogs, which was the stated purpose of Prop B to begin with, and remove that unconstitutional aspect of the 50-dog cap.
Kurt, I'm sorry. When did the courts rule that unconstitutional?
They haven't ruled it. It simply is. I have studied our Constitution. I know what is and what is not constitutional.
Are you a Missouri Supreme Court judge?
The fascinating thing about our Constitution, the way it was originally set up, our founding fathers understood that you didn't have to be a judge in order to know what the Constitution said. Our founding fathers, there's a ton of documents where they would, Thomas Jefferson was quoted as saying, I can't find the place and clause in the Constitution where this is legal or where this is constitutional, and he would veto acts of Congress because it was not constitutional.
But hold on, Kurt. You certainly understand there's a separation of powers since you're so well versed in the Constitution.
Absolutely.
You as a representative do not determine what is or is not constitutional.
I do not determine as far as adjudicating, but I can certainly determine whether I vote for or not on a law, whether or not it is constitutional.
Sure, certainly understandable. But this was passed by the people. Why not put this bill to repeal the 50-dog limit or anything else back on the ballot so the people have a chance to vote on it again?
Because well, two reasons. One, it would take too long. That unconstitutional aspect of property would go into effect and harm the constitutional rights of the breeders. But two, the core aspect, one of the core principles of our republic, our constitutional republic, is the rule of law. And the rule of law simply states our laws trump the wills of the majority or the wills of and the passions of the people at the time. We are governed by our laws, not by the whims of our leaders or by the whims of the people, which is why we have a republic and not a democracy. We cannot allow either the representatives or the legislator to create laws that are unconstitutional, nor can we allow the people through ballot initiatives make laws that are unconstitutional and take away our rights.
Why is the 50-dog limit unconstitutional?
Our Constitution provides for or protects our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And in the Missouri Constitution, it continues to elaborate that it does so to protect our ability to enjoy the fruits of our labor. The 50-dog limit, dogs are property of the breeders. If you were to say, I'm going to take away your property, I'm going to take away your ability to make money, I'm going to take away your ability.
Well, you do that every day. Business is regulated every day. You tell bars they can't sell beer after 1 o'clock.
But we aren't taking away their beer. We're not saying you can only sell.
Yes, you are. You're saying you can only sell until 1 o'clock. Why isn't that law unconstitutional?
There is a difference. You are not taking away their actual property. You're not saying you cannot own more than this.
But you're saying you can't sell more than this.
There's a difference. The 50-dog cap isn't a matter of you can only sell 50 dogs. This is you can only own 50 dogs. There is a difference. If we allowed this cap to go in effect, if this became jurisprudence, then we could simply say, you know what, greenhouse gases, global warming, it's caused by cars. We're only going to allow every family to have one car. You cannot own more than one car. We're going to solve global warming.
First of all, it was passed by the people, so the people choose to live under the rules that they live by.
But we live under a constitution that protects the rule of law.
So it doesn't matter what the people vote on.
You cannot remove a constitutional right. You cannot say by law, we are restricting your right.
I never knew the Constitution gave me a right to own more than 50 dogs.
The Constitution gives you the right to use your property as, to your best benefit.
Actually, that's not true. I can't open up a strip joint at my house. I can't open up a bar in my house.
Then now we're getting into the details of time and placement and zoning regulations.
I mean, we regulate business every day in this country.
Yes, there are lots of regulations on business, but this cap is different than those other regulations. You're comparing apples to oranges with this particular argument.
Regulation is a regulation. Let me ask you this question, Kurt Bahr. Bahr, you're against gays marrying? Marriage
is a God-ordained organization that is between one man and one woman. Anything other than that is not marriage.
So you have a constitutional right to own more than 50 dogs, but I don't have a constitutional right to marry another man. So you can tell me who I can marry, but you can't tell me how many dogs I can own.
Marriage is a union between one man and one woman. That is what marriage is.
What about a civil union? Can I enter into a civil union with another man?
That's a discussion for another time.
How come it's constitutional for me to change my sex and then marry a woman or a man?
I don't know.
Should that be constitutional?
You know, I haven't looked into the constitutionality of gender change and marriage, but it really doesn't apply to the discussion of...
Oh, I was just curious.
Okay.
I was just curious. Kurt Bahr, we got to leave it there. We're out of time. Good luck. Talk to you down the road.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time.
KTRS St. Louis, it's 8 o'clock.